Well, I don't...
Morning.
Morning, love.
And that's all of those loose leaf notes.
What, rule A4?
Yeah, that's it.
What project is it today, then?
Hey?
You're writing a novel, aren't you, Curly? The Binman's Tale, Weatherfield with lid on.
You always get things wrong, don't you, Rita? Norman's not a writer, he's an astronomer.
Well, I dabble, you know.
You've got charts and everything, haven't you? Oh, I hope you don't think I'm being nosy, but Emily lets me have a little glance now and then.
No, feel free.
Well, I mean, I just think it's very exciting, you know, seeing all the stars and their positions or courses or whatever you call them, all plotted out. Well, I mean, even the names themselves are like symphonies, aren't they? Saturn and Jupiter, Neptune and Mercury.
Arcturus and Vega are doing some very strange things currently.
Are they?
And they reckon Jupiter's second major moon has got an ocean, 50 kilometres deep, in which low forms of life might exist.
Do you know, I bet there's folk on Jupiter say the same thing about Weatherfield Canal.
Oh, Rita, don't be so silly. This is a serious subject. Norman, do you ever come across anything that you can't explain?
Well, I don't know. I might have saw something last night. But you see, I've got to proceed by a process of elimination. But at 1 o'clock, I saw a little green light on a downward trajectory over the tip. Hello? Who? Elaine? Oh, Helen, from the hospital committee. Oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Bishop's not in at the moment. Come in, it's not locked. Yeah, shall I take a message, or do you want to ring back later? You'll ring back later, it's not important. Yeah. OK. Cheerio. Bye-bye.
I'm not intruding, am I? I mean, you did mean come in when you said it wasn't locked.
Yeah, sure. Is it Mrs. Bishop you're after?
No, as a matter of fact, I think you're who I'm after.
Me? Well, there's no queue.
I'm Sally Waterman. I work for the Recorder.
Oh.
I don't believe we've actually met before, but I've seen you around.
Don't tell me. You've been driven wild by my animal magnetism.
Oh, yes, definitely, yes. But at the moment, I'm after a story.
Hey?
It's just something I heard down the pub. Do you mind if I sit down?
Oh, yeah, sure, sorry.
Just something about you being an astronomer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, to get to the nitty-gritty, the tale was that you'd recently spotted, well, whatever it is that you spot, and you couldn't quite fathom it.
Oh, were they taking the mickey, saying I was balmy?
Well, there were one or two jokers, but the general opinion seemed to be that you were a man who knew what he was talking about.
No kidding.
Look, Mr. Watts, I wouldn't be here if I thought you were a nutter, would I?
No, it's not you. It's just people can be, well, very sceptical, can't they? And I wouldn't like astronomy to be made fun of. I'm not Galileo, but I'm not the village idiot either.
Well, let me be straight. I'm simply here to establish the facts. For all I know, it could be a spoof, couldn't it? A leg pull.
A leg pull? No. I've done me sums. I've done me checks. I saw an uncharted green phosphorescent light flying through space. Come on.
Where are we going?
See the evidence. I've got a little green Martian in the bath, haven't I?
Well, if the Martians did land, they wouldn't...
I let them down now and I dragged you upstairs.
Hello.
Mrs. Bishop. You're back then. I was just showing Sally me charts.
See. Hello. Hello. I suppose you've heard, have you, Mrs. Bishop, about Curly's sightings?
I beg your pardon?
What I saw last night, what I've been logging. Miss Waterman agrees it could have real scientific significance.
Do you study astronomy then, Miss Waterman?
Not exactly.
They're going to do a piece on me.
Piece? You mean an article? Oh, well, that's very exciting.
Yes, I've got all my notes now. Just be a question of getting Ken to okay it. Bye, then.
I'll see you out.
I'll be in touch, then.
Right, see ya. Bye-bye.
Well, fancy that.
Well, I reckon she'll do an in-depth think piece on me work as an explorer in space. I think people will look at me in a different light once this is published, Mrs. Bishop.
I don't want to alarm you, Norman, but these things can get blown up.
Well, I'm not expecting new scientist standard, but what do you mean, blown up?
Visitors from outer space, that sort of thing. Not that Ken would allow anything too sensational, I don't suppose.
So what are you telling me?